Today's podcast is brought to you by T-Mobile. Join the thousands tweeting and posting their appreciation for our military and veterans by using hashtag HatsOffForHeroes. When you share your photo or video, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support vets with Team Rubicon.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head the day. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me a boom.
It's been a long time. We should have left you with a dope pod to step to. Jalen Rose still on vacation. But now we have one of our favorites joining us today. Ryan Hollins, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for doing this, Ryan. Of course, we're going to get to LeBron James and the Lakers, a lot of socially awkward posts from NBA players, and Charles Oakley getting in trouble in Vegas. But now we have the podcast exclusive content for our podcast listeners. Ryan, I want to say this.
Too hot for TV.
You did a great job on First Take. You're all over the network. You're on SportsCenter. You're on First Take. You're going to be too big to do this show soon. I can feel it.
Are you kidding me? Have you watched my role model, Jalen Rose? The man did 12 straight hours of television through the night. NBA Countdown, Get Up, and then he has the nerve to still do his own show. I go, Harlan, you've been avoiding me. What's going on? He said, no, Jalen has actually been doing his own show. So if you want to follow the footsteps of the hardest working man in the business, you got to work hard yourself.
I like it, Ryan. But Jalen always gets a shape up before the show, though. You know what I mean? So maybe you should take that into consideration. Maybe you should take that into consideration as well.
You're really going to say that.
This morning you were just like, oh, this is a podcast, right? It's a podcast? Oh, okay. Well, I'll just do that. What was your experience like? You know, going to Bristol, going on First Take. It's a big show. You're working with Fitz, working with Will Kane.
I mean, I'm a grinder, brother. I try to be like, I think it's funny. AI made a quote. He played every game like it was his last, so I don't take anything different. So whether I'm doing the backyard podcast on the laptop or, on the big screen, maybe ignorance is bliss. It's like that rookie type of transition deal. You don't know to think of what is what. You just do what you do and be who you are, right?
Exactly. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show. It wasn't too long ago when you were in this very studio and you were guaranteeing our audience that LeBron James is going to be a Laker, and now he is a Los Angeles Laker, signed by general manager Rob Pelinka and Magic Johnson. Here is Pelinka on the other offseason moves that the Lakers made.
When LeBron chose to come here, it was the ultimate validation for the moves we've made and what we've been building since we started. We're on a journey towards bringing the 17th banner to the Los Angeles Lakers, and we know we still have work to do to get there. And listen, the road to an NBA championship has to go through the team that won last year. And we all know the guys up north have a special group. But one of the ways to attack what they have is with defensive toughness. Irvin and I had a conversation, and LeBron echoed this sentiment that I think to try to play the Warriors in their own game is a trap. No one's going to beat them at their own game. And so that's why we wanted to add these elements of sort of defense and toughness and depth and try to look at areas where we'll have an advantage.
Okay, Ryan. Number one, I don't think anyone really believes that this current Laker roster could truly test the Warriors. However, do you think this philosophy, you can't beat the Warriors at their game, so we're going to get defense and toughness, do you think this philosophically is the right approach to trying to topple the championship Warriors?
Yes, it is. But there's levels to this, my man. And first off, that was one of the greatest humble brags of all time, that LeBron topped off everything we've been doing from Pelinka. Love it, love it. But there's some truth and some lies to that. No, you got to be who you are. You got to be true to your identity. And we talked about this on the show prior, in that if you beat Golden State, you got to rough them up. You got to be physical. You got to be tougher than they are. But there's another element that you have to score at a clip that they can score at. Yep. You've got to be efficient. So if you don't have the same scoring firepower and toughness, you don't match them. You've got to play. If you beat Golden State, you got to beat, not just a perfect game. You got to beat them on 3 tiers: scoring, physicality, in defense, in multiple efforts, because that's what they do. And if you're working 3 times as hard and they're working twice as hard, those percentages will always win out. That was my problem with Houston, even though Houston did take them to 7 and had a heck of a fight, the best match that they had.
One thing that's interesting about the players that Pelinka and company have put around LeBron is, in the past few years, it seems like LeBron has said, just give me 3-point shooters. I will create, I will drive, and I will kick to them because I'm the best passer at my position. Is it interesting or curious to you that they don't really have 3-point shooting around LeBron this year?
Well, yes, it is interesting because we're not going to hear those moves and justify them and say, yeah, this is what we planned to do the whole time. No. Yeah. If you can get a shooter around LeBron, you get a shooter. Kyle Kuzma is the only dead-eye shooter. I know KCP is capable, and he's talking about, well, Rondo can hit guys in windows and their percentages go up. No. That was the problem with the Cavaliers in the finals. They couldn't hit a shot. And defensively, normally you say with LeBron James, and LeBron knows this. If you watch this is where LeBron's frustration came from the finals. You always have to pick your poison with LeBron. Either I stop him or I stop the 3-ball, but I can't give up both. In Golden State in the finals, which is a large reason to why they swept, they were able to stay in the disciplined help side, show bodies to LeBron, and close out to those 3-point shooters and run the guys off the line. So LeBron needs dead-eye shooters, and the one shooter that he had was Kyle Korver. Kyle Korver was face guarded. But guess what? You need a Kyle Korver. You need those guys on the team. Now, granted, in today's NBA, this is a real blessing for LeBron. When when the trade deadline starts to come up, when those things hit, you're going to see guys like Bellinelli. You're going to see those guys, Bellinelli going to Philadelphia. You're going to see all these guys, Ilyasova. You're going to see these shooters come available and be able to join LeBron. So the Lakers have a strategy that they'll be able to get a dead-eye shooter later on in the season, which will be an immense help.
While Pelinka and LeBron and Magic were all basking in the glory of having LeBron come to Los Angeles, the Clippers' Jerry West had some salt to throw on all of this. Here's what he had to say about the acquisition. Quote, all due respect to the Lakers who handled everything well, but as these things go, LeBron was not a tough free agent signing. LeBron wanted to come to LA and he wanted to come to the Lakers, period. He has a family he's thinking about. He has a home here. Why is Jerry West so salty about all this?
One, Jerry West is not salty at all. And everybody jumped on me. They massacred me on First Take. And I said that Magic Johnson was a puppet. With no due respect to the man over my left shoulder, one of the greatest players of all time. Magic is a great businessman. Hands down. He's a great player. One of the favorites, all-time greats. But as far as a GM, this is not he's the best GM ever. Yes, he's going to get credited, but LeBron was coming here anyways. This is what I said. And I said that could have been Kobe Bryant in this GM position. He's still coming. It could have been Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yes, it's great that he can have those man-to-man talks with LeBron James. But ultimately, no, he was coming here anyways. LeBron chose LA. You had to mess this up. And guess what, Magic? You messed up Paul George. You tampered for $500,000. But Magic, in our eyes, you can do no wrong. So please forgive me for calling it how I see it with one of my favorite players of all time. And guess what, Magic? You are a bad coach. You are a bad commentator. Okay? But we just love you because you're Magic. This is true.
I would not take Magic Johnson's slander on this program. I cannot believe you are doing this, Ryan Hollins. At first I was with you, and then you just got off the rails at the end. But there is something else that came out in the news.
5-11.
There's something else that came out in the news about LeBron and his move to Los Angeles I found very curious. One thing we know about LeBron, he's very calculated, especially in his dealings with the media. He manipulates us speaking into microphones so well. But there's now news from Variety that SpringHill, his production company, is putting together a pitch for a feature film that is a comedy that would be starring LeBron James. I'm alarmed by this given the timing. I mean, can you imagine that just a week or two after he announces he's going to LA, that they now leak reports that he is pitching a movie that he is starring in? Am I reading way too much into this by finding it alarming and concerning?
Yeah, you're reading into this and you're lying to your audience, and I've never assumed that you would lie because you knew. Well, at least I knew, and I'm so thankful because I've been tweeting at you for a while, Jacoby, and you finally acknowledged it on your show like a grown man should.
You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
That LeBron James was coming to L.A. No, this is big respect to you, but you knew this was coming. This isn't a leak. This isn't an accident. It's just a sexy name like the Jay-Z album getting leaked. Guess what? Those albums don't get leaked.
But why is he pitching a movie starring himself right now? Like, why not wait for this information to come out later? It just seems like the second you move to L.A., all of a sudden you're going to be a movie star? Like, come on, LeBron. You're better than this.
But he's not pitching this right now. This was pitched years ago. This was pitched a long time ago. He just wants to respect the city of Cleveland and make it seem like Los Angeles was a tough deal. Like, I don't know where L.A. Oh, yeah, I'm going.
One person in all of this, we're going to talk about LeBron, we're going to talk about Magic because those are the big names. But one name that doesn't get brought up too much in any of this is Luke Walton, the actual head coach of the team that LeBron James is playing on. When LeBron announced that he was going to the Lakers, Luke Walton got a congratulatory phone call from his dad, Bill Walton, the GOAT. And the GOAT, Bill Walton, was at a Grateful Dead concert when he made the phone call to his son about LeBron James. My question for you, are you more surprised that Bill Walton stopped enjoying a Grateful Dead concert to make a phone call to his son, or that our producer Harlan Endelman last weekend went to a Grateful Dead concert during his bachelor party?
I am more surprised with Harlan because, as I told you before, I expected this from Bill. I told you my wild story about Bill years ago. I played in college over 10 years ago, and him saying, hey, the key to a national championship, run. Okay, so that Bill is doing this, it doesn't surprise me. I just saw Bill at the NBA Awards, and I walk up to him again, and I see him again after the show, and I said, Bill, thank you so much for what you've done. It's great to see you. And he looked at me and said, hey, kid, what's your name? I go, Bill, I'm Ryan Hollins. I wanted to be the next Bill Walton. I want to follow in your steps to UCLA to NBA.
How many 7-footers that went to UCLA do you know, Bill?
Then he said, man, keep working hard, son. You might be a good player one day. It's great, Bill.
He was talking about the big three. Oh.
Hi, I'm Bryce Harper. Join me and the thousands tweeting and posting their appreciation for our military and veterans by using T-Mobile's hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. When you share your photo or video with hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support vets with Team Rubicon. So America, keep posting with hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes, and T-Mobile will keep giving.
Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. Official licensee of Major League Baseball Players Association.
Your Big Three coach, Charles Oakley, was in the news.
Oh, my God.
And it's not good news.
Oh my
TMZ is reporting that Oakley was gambling in Las Vegas, and he did something that we've all thought about doing. Allegedly, he pulled a $100 chip off of a bet that he had already made when he saw that he was going to lose. We don't know what game he was playing, but we're kind of assuming it was blackjack. Here's my question for you, Mr. Hollins. Have you ever thought about doing this before? Don't lie.
Yeah, of course you can. That's just you're being honest. When things are getting ugly, and they're getting ugly, okay, in Vegas or wherever you are, and you got your money on the table, and you are getting pillaged. You're getting absolutely pillaged. The first instinct is to go grab it all. And Coach Oak, Coach, you did what we all wanted to do. You're just known as the guy to actually do it. Whoa. The casino, the guy who probably reported it was like, whoa, hold on. That's Charles Oakley right there. Do I need to...
The security guard. There was definitely that, like, yo, Steve, the security guard, Steve, we're going to have to go talk to that patron who just did this with the bets. And Steve is like, let's get some help. We got to get some more. I'm not going there by myself. He's like, we're gonna get like 12 Steve. Steve called for some backup before he went and go talk to Oak. And they just have all of that money. When you're losing it, you're just like, within arm's reach, there is just tens of thousands of dollars worth of chips there. You just want to grab it and run. But I've never, ever, ever done it. And I'm so proud of Charles Oakley for actually pulling $100 off of his bet. I like this. This is a boss move.
You're proud?
This is a boss move. I like it. I like it.
At Summer League, by the way, I saw your boy Russillo walking around in Ben Lyons. They're walking around like a biker gang. But while they're walking around, I'm with my agent there, Todd Ramazar. And Todd, those guys, they're sitting there gambling, playing a game of blackjack. And as I'm sitting there watching them play, I said, no, I'm not playing anything. I watched one of the most, disgusting displays of pillaging. I watched they could have just handed their money over to the dealer. And it's worse, like you said, Jacoby, because you see thousands of dollars on the other side. And the dealer's like, apologize. Oh, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3. Oh, blackjack. Sorry. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. I won't touch another table. I wouldn't play it, and I won't play.
Big shout to Russillo.
Shout out.
It's time to get socially awkward. Social media is so prevalent in our lives right now and in the lives of NBA stars, but sometimes it gets very awkward like this. Jimmy Butler is on Instagram and someone comments, Jimmy to Spurs. What does he do? He clicks the heart button next to this. Ryan Hollins, when Coach Tom Thibodeau talks to Jimmy Butler about this, how does he explain it?
For one, Jimmy's the guy to probably just own it, but like, you guys know I want to get out of here. He's one of the keep it real players in the NBA where he's been through so much in his life. He's worked so hard to get there. And I understand that when you've seen one side when nobody's rocking with you and now you're an NBA All-Star, everybody's rocking with you. So he's just 100 about what's going on. Like, yeah, I want to get out of here. Jimmy to the Spurs, I don't mind it. And Tibbs knows what he got. So, hats off to Jimmy for keeping it a buck. But,
we will never slander Jimmy here on Jalen and Jacoby because Jimmy Butler is one of the few NBA players that is part of the illustrious group known as the Minivan Mafia. Minivan Mafia forever, especially Jimmy. I think maybe Ginobili or Zaza Pachulia is also part of the Minivan Mafia.
You have a real minivan?
I had a real minivan, and my wife made me get rid of it. It's a long story. I'm going to cry if I tell it.
So your wife
let's just move on.
You
We're
get
going to have
rid
to
of
move
it.
on. It's very emotional. Ryan, let's please move on. JaVale McGee. Things got socially awkward for JaVale McGee. He signed with the Lakers. He's so excited to meet his new teammates and interact with them. And then he realizes that for 2 years, his current teammate, LeBron James, has him blocked on IG. I just blocked you on Twitter. Why would LeBron James do this? And will LeBron James unblock him? And how will LeBron explain it to him when they get in the locker room?
Well, much like JaVale McGee, he's going to feel some type of way about this, and he wants to be excited, and LeBron was a huge part of him coming. And Jacoby, much like McGee, you're a huge part of me coming on the show, so you blocking me comes as a surprise. And I admit, I had been trolling you for quite some time until you admitted that I said LeBron to the Lakers for some time, and you wouldn't acknowledge me. So you take it a step further. Instead of acknowledging me, you block me. And I finally get Russillo to respond. But you, taking a step further, you blocked me. Did you unblock me today by coming on the show? Me and JaVale McGee want to know.
No. I would have unblocked you if you got a haircut and a shave before you came on the show. Finally, we cannot have a socially awkward segment without involving Kevin Durant. One of the top 5 players in the NBA always seems to do this on social media. He responded to Bucket Center posting about him. He said, bruh, go sweep your dorm room. You don't know hoops. Stop tagging me in this trash. This is an interesting question here, Ryan. I really want you to think about this and get into Kevin Durant's mind. Why does he continually defend himself against the haters on social media?
Well, it bothers him. Kevin Durant is a competitor, and he's one of the guys, he's actually a throwback in the league that when I competed against him, look, he would, how do I say this? He would say some very unfavorable things to me where I'm like, dude, this is
not
personal.
compliments.
Like, I'm going to have to fight my fellow skinny guy in the league. And I really didn't like KD. But when I was in and out of the league my last years and Kevin Durant came up to me and it was when I got signed back, the first thing of any player that I played against, Kevin Durant came to me and he said, big fella, welcome back to the league. So I say that he's a throwback in the sense that if you're not with him, you're against him. You're on the other side. And he's willing to speak his mind and say the things that he wants to say. So a guy like KD, it bothers him. Where there's smoke, there's fire, that he's not the playmaker. He's not the guy. He wants to be numero uno. He got his ring. So knowing these things is really buzzing into his mind. And listen, I'm going to throw this out, and I want to say this, and this isn't coming from anywhere.
Oh, no.
Do not be surprised when Kevin Durant does not finish his career with the Golden State Warriors. Do not be surprised when he steps out to pursue other things. And listen, obviously LeBron's camp denied it, but a connection to KD coming to Los Angeles could be possible.
I like it, Ryan Hollins.
Woo.
And now's the part of the podcast where we talk about our friends at Stitch Fix. As I've told you before, this is a product that I paid for and used myself before they even sponsored the program. My wife is very critical of me, keeps me sharp, makes me better. She didn't like my look on television. It wasn't just my face. It was my clothes. She really felt like Jalen was outdressing me every single day on TV. So instead of just criticizing me because she's intelligent and she's part of the solution, not just part of the problem, she signed me up for Stitch Fix. What Stitch Fix is you get a box. And every month, you get a box of clothes picked out for you with not handwritten, but a truly personal note from a stylist that chooses and selects clothes that they think will work with you and your personal style. You get 4 or 5 items. You try them on. They come right to your house. You try them on, and you only keep what you love. And it's not hard. You don't have to go to the post office and fill out paperwork or anything. They give you a return package so you can easily send back the things you don't like. So you only buy what you love. And the more data they get about you, the more they learn what you kept and what you didn't keep, what fits right, what doesn't fit right, then they keep sending you stuff. It works really well. I'm telling you, I used this product before they sponsored the show. I know you don't believe me. You're walking around your headphones. You're at work. We've got the Excel spreadsheet open. You're listening to this. You do not believe me, but it is actually true. It's great. And right now, you can go to StitchFix.com/Jacoby and get started. StitchFix.com/Jacoby, Jacoby. If you keep all 5 items in your box, you get 25% off your entire purchase. And one thing I liked about Stitch Fix, they're not sending you Gucci and Versace, and these things don't come with huge price tags. They're modestly priced, great-looking clothes, all sent right to your house from Stitch Fix, from your own personal stylist. Go to StitchFix.com/Jacoby. Sign up for Stitch Fix. You keep all 5 items, you get 25% off. Don't forget, StitchFix.com/Jacoby. Carmelo Anthony is in Las Vegas, and a lot of people are talking about where he's going to play because the Thunder plan on losing him. And he met with the Rockets and the Heat. I want to focus on the Rockets, Ryan. Does it make sense that Carmelo Anthony should be added to this Rockets roster?
It makes a lot of sense. They wanted him before, and he would go into a system where he can really just stand there and shoot. And if it comes to Miami, he's going there to retire. It's South Beach. Come on, man.
There are also reports from Houston that they offered their center, Clint Capela, an $85 million 5-year deal. He did not accept it. And they did also offer the qualifying $4.7 million deal. Should Capela bet on himself and play this year for $4.7 million and then cash in next year? Or should he take a deal that he feels is less than he's worth?
If I'm Clint Capela, the level that he's playing at, he's the new age center, and he deserves a max contract, or if not more. I would take that qualifying deal, and then I would battle it out next year. But you do run a risk. But keep in mind, this kid hasn't been paid yet, so they know the odds are against him. So $85 million deal, you may want to just take that and say, I got my money, I got my first paycheck, I know tomorrow isn't promised. I'm not mad either way, but I say play it out for another year. I see him having the same success, if not more.
Mr. Hollins, I'm getting some information. It's time for news that matters. There was a study done, and that study has shown that 99% of women do not approve of men wearing Speedos. My question for you, Ryan Hollins, what's up with the 1% that does like men in Speedos?
Those women are a little different, and maybe they're looking for something different in their men. Just something different. 1%.
Do you own a pair of Speedos?
Not close. No.
Will LeBron James post a video of himself wearing a Speedo working out? I would not put it past him.
I wouldn't put it past him either. Don't go there, LeBron. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I should have done this years ago.
Disclaimer, traveling back in time is physically impossible unless you know how to build a functioning time machine. Then by all means, travel 25 years back in time, switch your car insurance to Geico. You could save a bunch of money. While you're there, please prevent your younger self from wearing that sleeveless tuxedo t-shirt, parachute pants, and glitter high tops to your senior prom. And at long last, rectify this horrible crime against nature. Geico is absolved of all liability if you destroy the fabric of time and space.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
As always, we give our podcast listeners exclusive content. And one thing we always like to do is give the people what they want, listen to the people. So if you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us voicemails. If you leave us voicemails and you give Reggie a shout-out, he will pick it and put it on the show just like this.
What up, though, Jalen? What's good, Jacoby? This your boy Trey out of Little Rock, Arkansas. Man, I got a quick thing I wanted to tell y'all. Man, I remember back in a few months ago in the pod, y'all was talking about WNBA players and, when you play them, you think you can beat them, but you can't. Hey, look. So, I'm in this men's league out here in Little Rock, and there's a WNBA player in the league. Well, I guess that makes it not just a men's league, but it's just a league, right? So, her name is Erica Taylor. You probably heard of her, Jalen, possibly Jacoby. But, man, look, she was giving me buckets, bro. Like, she was really going in, getting rebounds, making shots on me in the post. I was like, goodness gracious, man, I'm really trying out here. So I ain't just terrible. I ain't just, AI out there either, though. But check this out. Soft move or boss move. Playing a WNBA player and playing her like she's just everybody else out there. I don't want to, I mean, when it comes to the ladies, you kind of have a thing. You want to be a little less aggressive. But with her, I was like, man, hold on, bro. I can't just let it do me like this. So let me know, guys. Let me know. Hey, shout out Reds, bro. You can't forget that. But you say the best for last. Hey, hi.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. Now, Ryan, I know you listen to the Jalen and Jacoby podcast every single episode, every single day, 3 times. But we've discussed this a lot. There is a fraction of men that play basketball that think that they could be in the WNBA and wax WNBA players. And it's like, oh, they can't dunk. They're not strong. I would go in there and I would put buckets on them. Those people are wrong. And they are so wrong about this. And my man Trey in Little Rock is learning this. So to answer his question, if you're playing pickup against a female that is not a former WNBA player, but is actually not that talented at the game of basketball, I think it's a soft move to go 100%. However, if there is a scoreboard and referees and you're playing in a league and you're playing against a WNBA player, you got to go 100%. You have to.
No.
Your thoughts, Mr. Hollins?
Oh, he's got to go 110%. There's no question. If you stepped on the court, I don't care if it's your grandma, your mama, your niece, or your nephew on the court. You got to go and you got to get it. And this thing helps me think back to my UCLA days. So we used to just gym rat, be on the floor all the time. And Nikki Blue, Noelle Quinn, and Lisa Willis, they ended up going to the WNBA. But what made them special is they would get on the court with me and we would play against the guys. So it would be like me and like 3 or 4 other girls, and we would run the gym the whole time. And it was the funniest reaction, like, oh, we know who Hollins is. We see this 7-foot guy, but don't worry, we'll go to work on oh my goodness. Lisa Willis would be hitting step backs on these dudes, getting in her bag. It was one of my funnest basketball experiences ever. And just to see the look on these dudes' faces as they be getting balled up, taking elbows to the face, jumpers, boards, eating.
I don't know if I told the story in the pod before, I was on like 112th Street in the East River, and I went with all my boys from work. There's probably 12 of us. We all went to go play pickup at this park, and there was 4 girls that came, and they looked at me and they were like, "You're tall, so we'll take you." So it was me and 4 girls, and we ran the court for 3 hours.
Oh.
And they didn't need me to do anything. They barely passed me the ball. Like they were clearly they must have been playing professional. This might have even been before the WNBA. But I remember talking trash to my boys from work about that day for like the next 20 years of my life.
Oh,
for
my
real.
goodness. Yeah, we don't need you.
Yeah, they were just like, you're tall, you can rebound or whatever. And then I remember I missed like a jump hook and they started yelling at me. I was just like, look, man, I got, you know, I'm 1 for 2. You know, sorry.
Oh, my
I'm not
God.
shooting 100%.
Dead weight.
It was great.
Dead weight. Carry
great.
Carry them, ladies.
Thank you so much for the call, Trey in Little Rock. I love that Trey had described that Little Rock was in Arkansas. Come on, Trey. We know where Little Rock is. You don't gotta give us those details.
Oh my gosh. Come on, President Clinton. Everybody knows that.
Let's listen to another voicemail. Reg?
What's up, Jalen? What's up, Jacoby? What's up, Reg? And others. This is Sean from Austin, Texas, by way of Houston, Texas. And I have 2 quick cultural regional questions. The first one, all white parties. Oh yeah, shout out Medicinal. All white parties. I've never seen an all white party. You know what I'm saying? Okay, actually, as I'm saying that, for the purposes of this discussion, let's just remove hate groups from this discussion. Normal parties. The second one was, senior pranks. Is that cultural or regional? I associate senior pranks with Jalen, Jacoby's people. So, let me know. Alright. Y'all have a good day. Bye.
Big shout to Medicinal Sean. Big shout to Medicinal Sean. I mean, I think he just spoke like 9 words, but it took him 3 minutes. Just to think of the next word took him like 15 seconds each time. Big shout to Medicinal Sean in Austin.
Yep.
He does bring up a good question. And I'm just going to straight up ask it to you, Mr. Hollins. Cultural or regional white parties?
White party, that's definitely a regional thing. I don't think it's a cultural thing. I think that all types of people have participated or have the idea behind an all-white party. Unfortunately, there's someone who's there that's going to be that guy or that girl that doesn't have on all-white at the party.
Of course.
No, that's definitely regional. I don't think that's just cultural.
I'm not really sure, but I will say this in my own personal experience. I've never, ever been invited to or attended an all-white party in my entire life. So take that for what it is.
I heard of them.
And then,
me too.
Senior pranks. I'm going to say regional. I don't even really know what he means by senior pranks. I'm not even familiar with senior pranks. What are senior pranks?
That's definitely cultural. My high school at John Muir High School in Pasadena, shout out Reg, Pasadena.
Shout out.
Oh my God. We never had a senior prank. It wasn't happening. Our idea of a senior prank really would have gotten us arrested. We were just trying to graduate. That was the focus. And at other high schools, I would say high schools that are seen on TV, where the kids actually have cars in the parking lot and they go on. Everyone goes on to college and does all those fun things. We didn't have that, so I'm definitely going with cultural. Where I'm from and where Reg is from, I don't know. We do senior pranks.
Yeah, I've never heard of a senior prank. I don't even know what they are. Senior college, senior high school, who knows? So one thing we always do is we celebrate power couples here on Jalen and Jacoby. And we have to congratulate the biggest power couple currently in hip-hop. Cardi B and Offset having a child. Name the child Culture with a K. We just want to give them a big shout-out for Cardi B.
Shout out.
I love Cardi B so much. Next.
So much.
I want to ask you about your Big Three experience. I want to ask you about your Big Three experience so far. How's it been? How medicinal is it? How's the competition? What's it like?
So, for one, you're not going to hold back, I see.
No.
It's been a pleasant surprise, a breath of fresh air. And real talk, as players, this league was needed because we have an opportunity to make money off of our likeness or something we can be doing for free. So anytime you can get paid, Jacoby, and you can echo this, to do something that you'd be doing for free or anyways, playing 3-on-3 basketball in your 30s as a former NBA basketball player, I'm all in. But it's somewhat therapeutic. You get to hang out with guys that you once played against. We're only a 3-on-3 league, so everybody ends up being one big team. And as a fan, you have an intimate experience with players. And I say that because we walk around the whole game. We sign autographs. You're going to see, 6 different basketball games at one time. It's one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of and a really unique experience. So, you got to check this out. Now, I think what you want to allude to is some of the player coaching interactions. If that's what you really want to get to, I think that's what you wanted.
They're very well publicized about their marijuana policies and how they differ from the National Basketball Association. It's something that they're getting in front of.
The Big Three will not lack for entertainment. Come out and you will be thoroughly entertained, worth your dollar.
I know that we clown a lot on the show, but I do not block you on any social media. I follow you on IG, and you can shoot the ball, man. You can really shoot the ball. I know you don't upload the clips where you missed 3 in a row, but you can really throw that rock. I mean, I think if you gave me 100 NBA threes, I would probably hit 15. And you look good out there.
Well, you're not just looking at me making the shots. You're watching my form. On IG, we're good. On Twitter, you definitely blocked me, okay? And it's okay. You can own it. It's all good. I don't mind it.
I haven't yet just because I'm focused on the program right now. But I will later today. When I get some time. This is really
happening. This is really happening. He hasn't responded. Only Russillo responded. He's got 2 million followers.
Shout to Russillo. I love Ryan Russillo. Shout out. Let's listen to another voicemail.
What's up, Jalen and Jacoby? What's up, Reggie? First time, long time. This is Jeff from Los Angeles via Ann Arbor, Michigan. I got 2 questions for you guys. A cultural regional and then also a soft move, boss move. So cultural regional, something I wasn't aware of until my girlfriend put me up on game. Keeping the oil after, say, frying chicken or, in her case, lumpia next to the stove. Growing up, we didn't fry much stuff, and we never held on to the oil afterwards. But now we always have a jar of oil to reuse, which I like. So let me know if that's a cultural or maybe a regional thing. Next up, soft move or boss move. So she also just treated me to my first pedicure. I gotta say, I really liked it. My feet have never been smoother. I feel great. I feel like I could go be a foot model in a magazine somewhere. So let me know. Is that a soft move or boss move? All right, fellas, keep getting those checks. Go Blue. Go Pistons. Let's do it.
Lot to unpack there. A lot to unpack. I have particular expertise on both of these topics and personal experience. Number 1, the jar of oil. I read an article recently about why you should not pour grease down the drain. When you pour grease down the drain, what the fat cells do is they end up I forget the word, but coagulating, I believe is the word. They create gigantic fat blobs in the sewer system that can clog up the sewer system, and they don't go anywhere. So underneath your feet when you're walking the streets of your city, there are gigantic fat blobs down there because you pour grease down the drain. However, I'm not going to lead the witness on this. I just want to ask you, Brian, when you're in the kitchen and you're cooking bacon or whatever for the whole family, do a whole pack of bacon. You've got that pan full of all that grease. You let it cool down a little bit. What do you then do with it?
No, you got to keep it. That's the flavor that goes into the next meal. And it's a flavor thing. You don't pour it down the drain. You don't throw it in the trash can, which is what you're asking. I'm glad you went all socially conscious on us that you're ruining
I read an article.
You're
I'm very educated.
The ecosystem by pouring down the drain. No, but seriously, that's the flavor. You keep it and you cook another meal with the same oil, and that's why things taste good. So we're definitely going cultural on that.
Interesting. I think I remember my mom keeping the jar around, but I think it was more for environmental reasons than it was to reuse. I do not reuse old oil, and I think it's kind of gross to do so. Secondly, I know this is probably not correct, but I just pour it in the trash. I just pour it right in the trash. That's what I do. I'm just being honest. I got to be honest in the microphones.
Wow.
I just pour it in the trash.
Wow. So the drain
right in the
is
trash.
wrong, but I can't think the trash is better.
I pour it in the trash. I don't know. I'm just being honest. I'm just always going to be honest in the microphones. And speaking of which, I was not going to admit this on the show. I was not. But in the past 2 months, my wife treated me to my very first professional pedicure of my life. I've never had one before. And I have to say this, kind of overrated. Ooh. Very ticklish. Ooh. Not enough massaging. I wanted more massaging. You know what I mean? Like, I thought it was going to be like a foot massage, but really it was just like putting your feet in a bucket of water while someone clipped your nails. It was not the experience. I was looking for a luxury spa-like experience. I did not get that whatsoever.
I haven't had one ever. I hope my wife is listening, but I expected the pampering. Like, I want to feel like a king. Like somebody's working on my feet, right?
Yeah, it was really just me looking at Twitter while someone clipped my nails. That's basically what was happening.
In ticklish, I have a visual of you being ticklish. Well, like you just gave me a real visual of that.
It was awkward. I had to move my feet a lot. I felt uncomfortable. I did not enjoy the experience. And also I had to wait 20 minutes before it even started. Like it was like the barbershop. I went in there and they didn't have a chair ready and I was too tall for the chair. It wasn't that comfortable. They kept trying to change it to make it more comfortable for me. Maybe it was just the particular place that I went to, but it was not the experience I wanted.
You have awkward feet? I feel like there's something like
my feet are nice.
Odd about your feet. Are they overly large or small?
No. So I have very solid feet. Like Jeff, I could be a foot model.
Okay, so you're perfect size also.
I did not play in the National Basketball Association. Let me just say that. You know what I mean? I did not play in the NBA. Professional athletes, I do not have professional athlete feet. I have producer feet.
For a long time, I held the ring of the best feet for any player that did not get this work on.
Shout out to you. You get a trophy for that? Is that like most improved player? Do they give that award? Do they do the new NBA awards? Is that part of the ceremony?
Hey, humble brag like Pelinka. Humble brag. Like the only guy who didn't get his feet worked on. I held the champ for a guy who practiced every day and works hard and actually plays some defense. For the guys who play defense.
Well, maybe next time you're on the show, we'll put your feet on camera because right now you're looking kind of homeless. I want to thank everyone for calling in, and I especially want to thank my co-host for the day, Ryan Hollins. For real. We joke around a lot, but really appreciate you making the time to do this, coming in at late notice, coming up early in the morning on the West Coast to join us. We really appreciate it. We look forward to having you back.
Anytime, brother. You know that. Anytime. Don't ask me. Just tell me when the next show is. I'm in. You know it.
I love your attitude. You know what? We're not done.
We're not done. Got to give the people